Welcome to Moose Plays, everyone. I'm the Liquor Moose, and today we're going to do another team builder video. This one is for playoff round 2 of season 3 of the PDL, and we are up against Matt, aka the coach of the London Luxray. His team is very threatening. We kind of have personal vendettas, I think it's vendettas, against each other, because our games are always great. Other than our last stall out game, we that was if you haven't seen that one, be prepared to sit there for a while. That match went on for a long time. We're trying not to make this battle like that, but anyways, we're 2-2 lifetime against Matt. In season 1 we played twice and we each took one. Season 2 we faced off once and I beat him there. And spoilers for this season if you haven't seen it. Season 3 we played and Matt took that one. So this one is not only for big playoff implications, but it's also to help the rivalry out here. And in order for him to beat me, he has to bring some Pokemons from his team, so let's go over that right now. And he has a very threatening team. He drafted Alolan Alolan Marowak, Mamoswine, Thundurus Therian, Sylveon, Chestnut, Blastoise, Cobalion, Megalodios, Drapion, Uxie, Ariados, and Tyrantrum. His Z alternates are the Cobalion and the Tyrantrum, and his Z captain is the Thundurus Therian. So a lot has actually changed since Matt and I first played. First thing is that we played in week 3, so the only transactions that were made at the time was I picked up Cura. That was it. Matt hadn't used any of his transactions, and I still had 2 more to use. So since then, he had Braviary and dropped it, and I don't remember what the last one was, but he ended up dropping that slot twice. He picked up Uxie and Ariados since the last time we played him. And for us, I picked up Seismitoad and Sharpedo since the last time we played him. Excuse me. So hopefully some mind games go into effect. As far as his team goes, though, biggest threat by far is the Thundurus Therian. That thing has a gigantic special attack stat, and at the same time just has insane coverage. So we just need like a dedicated special wall really to check it properly. But past that, the last time we played, Chestnut proved to be a very good stop to my Mega Lopunny. So I need to play around that kind of. He also did bring Blastoise as kind of a general physical wall. I'm sure in the cases where where his Chestnut was like too low, he brought in Blastoise just to also take some hits from Lopunny. I don't see Alolan Marowak coming, mostly because I have a Heatran. So Shadow Bone is Lopunny's immune to it, and Lava Frog is immune to Flare Blitz. I don't think Alolan Marowak has that great of a matchup against us. It'll be interesting to see. I'm really scared of the Uxie coming just because that thing is so damn bulky. Like, it has 130 in both defenses. Granted, only a 75 HP stat, but still, like, the 130 in both defenses is ridiculous. And it's actually pretty fast for how bulky it is. It has a 95 base speed. Another thing that I'm not too sure is coming is the Ariados. With the Ariados, he has the potential for Sticky Web. I'll show you how I can potentially play around that later. Last time I prepped... I prepped really hard. He had Braviary the last time I played him, so last time I prepped really hard for all 3 of the Braviary, Tyrantrum, and Cobalion, and he brought none of them. So I changed up a little bit there as well. And obviously the last big threat that I really haven't talked about, I guess there's really 2 that I haven't really talked about, but the big one is the Mamoswine. That thing is actually really hard to switch into. I do have a decent check for it in Skarmory in general, and he brought Mamoswine last. It didn't even hit the field last time. Unfortunately, Matt was able to wear me down before he even had to use it. But anyways, those are the really big threats on Matt's team, so let's go over my team real quick. First off, we have Azelf the Bitter Blossom. We're running a Nasty Plot Life Orb set. With the coverage of Shadow Ball, Energy Ball, Flamethrower, I can hit everything on Matt's team neutrally. We have enough speed to outspeed a max speed Mega Latios. There was some merit into possibly putting Ghost DMZ on this for the Shadow Ball to break through the Latios. Decided against it because someone else on my team needed it a little more. As you can see, I'm bringing all 3 of my Z-Mons this time. But yeah, that's honestly like the main thing, is that hopefully I'm able to set up a nasty plot and hit one of his Pokemon for at least neutral damage, if not super effective damage. With this set, I'm not too worried about the Mamoswine unless he's Scarfed. Then that might prove to be a problem. I don't really see him being Scarfed though. If anything, I more see Thundurus to be Scarf, just to try to outspeed Lopunny. Past that, like, a lot of his Mons are more special or more physically defensive than specially defensive, which is why I went with this. I went back and forth a lot between Azelf and Sharpedo for this spot. In the end, honestly, it was after hockey one day when I was showering. I was just like, no, you know what, Azelf definitely fits his team better just because of the Mons that Matt has. Because naturally, Chestnut has higher defense, Blastoise has higher defense, Cobalion has a much higher defense. Drapion does. Uxie can be either. Latios technically has higher special defense, but I mean, it's more likely to be built physically defensive. Same thing with Sylveon. Mamoswine has a lower special defense, and same with Marowak. I just felt like a strictly physical attacker, more so than a mixed attacker, would break Matt's team down a lot better, especially when Sharpedo doesn't have good setup, and Matt just has a clean stop to it in his Blastoise. Like, Sharpedo just cannot break through Blastoise, whereas Nasty Plot with Energy Ball can break through it. So yeah, pretty basic stuff here for the Azelf, that's why he's here. Next up, we have Galactus Haxorus again. Pretty much the same set as last time, other than the EV spread. This time, we are EV'd to outspeed a max speed Mamoswine. He does have 2 base 95 Pokemon in Uxie and Drapion. Plus, like, I don't think he's going to put any speed into the Uxie. And the Drapion, last time he ran max HP, max attack. If he brings it again, I expect something similar. And honestly, like, if he... like, all it takes is for Haxorus to be a +1, and then I outspeed a max speed Drapion anyways. Other than that, like, if he brings Scarf Drapion, then I guess he brings it, like, good on Matt. That was just better prep than me, I guess. But yeah, as far as the moves go, it's just the same good coverage that it normally gets. I need the Poisonium Z again, because he has the Sylveon, and it's the same issue with the Altaria as in the last match. So that was the reason for that. Because we're outspeeding the Mamoswine, and it's only base 80 speed, we can run Adamant Nature. Which means that actually it only takes, if he's physically defensive, it only takes I don't even need to set up, and Poisonium Z can guarantee knockout of Sylveon. So I think that's a pretty good indicator of it, of this doing well. And other than that, I just went with honestly the best possible neutral coverage it gets. Running Mold Breaker this time, not for anything like specific, but I mean, he does have a Mega Latios in the Uxie. I don't think he would switch in the Latios onto Haxorus, but the Uxie could very well be a switch-in, so I just didn't want to switch him. I just didn't want him to have a free switch onto an Earthquake. Just that way I can guarantee, like, at least some damage on a possible Uxie switch-in. Because last time, I watched his team builder from last time, and he did very heavily prep for Haxorus, and I didn't bring it last time. He also very heavily prepped for Kyurem. Because when I picked up Kyurem, it was the week of that battle against Matt, and Kyurem actually did have a decent matchup against Matt last time. But we're going a slightly different route with our Kyurem this time, as you can see. We're running a physically defensive Subroost set with Toxic and Ice Beam. So my brother had to play against Matt twice this year, and I helped him prep for both. And the biggest, like, obviously Matt's biggest problem in general, just looking at his team, is obviously the Thundurus Therian. But something that Thundurus Therian actually really struggles with to deal with is especially defensive dragons. As my brother had Goodra, and Thundurus just could not break it. like whether it was assault vest, leftovers, whatever. Like it just couldn't. So my option for that is the Kyurem. The only issue with it is Thundurus does get access to Focus Blast. He didn't bring it last time. Last time his Thundurus was Nasty Plot, Thunderbolt, Grass Knot, Sludge Wave. Which yeah, last time I ended up bringing Whimsicott as the check to that because I was set on him bringing Thunderbolt, Dark Pulse, and some sort of hidden power, and I don't remember which one. And then Nasty Plot, obviously. But yeah, there was no need for that because I mean it got Sludge Wave. At the time I had no idea it got Sludge Wave. I just did not look into it that well, so I thought Special Defensive Whimsicott could do it, but that is not the case. So anyways, instead we're going to be running a specially defensive Kyurem. The thing with the Focus Blast is that I need to worry about, like, obviously A, it doesn't have the greatest accuracy, so he could miss, and B, unless he is modest specs, he actually cannot 2-hit KO me with Focus Blast. Even if he's maybe modest Life Orb has a chance to, but he is more than likely, because I have a Haxorus, he is more than likely going to be Timid plus maybe a boosting item, but I don't think he'll be modest. He's more likely to be Timid, mostly because of the Haxorus. Oh jeez, come on, Brandon, think. The coverage, I don't know what he's gonna do because my team did change up a lot. I do think he's still gonna bring Grass Knot because I picked up Seismitoad since the last time we played, and since I picked up Seismitoad, I actually brought it to every game, barring this one. So I do fully expect it to have Grass Knot. It's obviously going to have Thunderbolt because it needs a stab. Other than that, the last move, like he could bring Double Dance. I do expect Nasty Plot to come. Not too sure about Agility yet. And then I'm not sure about the item. Last time, I was expecting Z move last time, but he actually proved to be Magnet. Matt really likes those items, like the items that give a 1.2 boost to a specific type of move, which I get. I mean, League format can really call for that. But anyways, as far as other than the whole Kyurem thing, we have enough. Well, actually, going back onto the Thunderous topic, we have enough special attack EVs to guarantee the Oko on a 4 special defense, 0 HP Thunderous. Believe it or not, we could have gone like 0 points to we could have gone 20 points in the special attack to Oko a just completely uninvested Thunderous, but even with those 4 points in special defense, 20 cannot guarantee it. It's like a 93.8% chance or something really high. I really did not want to take the chance. That Thunderous is just way too dangerous. Other than that, I have 8 speed EVs because this is a speed tie with a no speed Yuxi. So Matt has seen that I like to speed creep a bit of things, so I just put the ADVs in here instead of 4, just to try to get a leg up on his speed creep. If like this could very well end up being a speed tie, and I really hope it doesn't. But anyways, and then obviously we have the Toxic because Toxicing the Yuxi primarily. And the Mega Latios is another big thing I want to Toxic because that thing is just really bulky. Same thing with you, like both those 2 bulky walls. Even the Sylveon, because last time he brought specially defensive Sylveon and switched in onto this relatively easily, which is why I don't have a Dragon move here. I just rather get Ice Beam on. So yeah, that's Kyurem. Next up, we have a bit of a stall break core here, starting with Whimsicott here. So we needed to outspeed his fastest Mon once again, which was the Mega Latios. Obviously, U-turn for Momentum because fast Pokemon with Momentum always call for that. Knockoff is here too because I really want this Whimsicott to have a lot of utility. My mistake of not encoring on the Thunderous last time basically just cost me the Whimsicott. I instead went for the Leech Seed, but I think Encore to be more of a stall breaker will actually be better. And then once again Toxic because his bulky Mons are just like really bulky and hard for my Pokemon to break through. Even these two, they can sometimes prove to have just a hard time breaking through a lot of my Pokemon, or a lot of Matt's Pokemon, depending on how he EVs them. again, once we have the outspeeding the Mega Latios, just went with the max HP and then threw the rest into defense just because, really. But yeah, so the return of Whimsicott. I'm a little disappointed in myself that I haven't used this a lot because it is my Z captain, but I don't know, I just never thought about bringing it. But something about it with the next part of the stall break core is that Whimsicott and Heatran have pretty much perfect coverage. Grass Fairy, Fire Steel is like has very good defensive synergies together. That's why I put them together this time. Last time I didn't bring Heatran, I brought Skarmory instead. But he didn't set up hazards really last time against me. I was more concerned about like he only ever got like 1 layer of spikes up on me, I think, and he didn't have access to Sticky Web last time. But that's why we brought Heatran this time. So I have enough speed here. Actually, I'm at 228 speed. Okay, so I'm in the same speed tier as the Kyurem. So this is to outspeed a little bit of speed investment Uxie. But also to note, it can outspeed a max speed Ariados. So if he brings Ariados, he is 100% going to lead with it. Like, there's no other reason to bring it other than to lead with it, set up webs right away. That's why we're gonna outspeed it and we're gonna taunt it right away if he brings it. And then that forces him to switch out, and then my Stealth Rocks can go up. And once again, Stealth Rocks I think are going to be quite important for my side on this match. There's going to be a lot of KOs that I'm going to more easily secure with it. For example, I know Flamethrower from A+2 Flamethrower from Bitter Blossom can, after Rocks, can guarantee Oko a max HP Drapion. I don't really see him bringing I guess he could bring Assault Vest. I don't see him bringing dedicated specially defensive Drapion, though. I just don't see it. I could see him bringing Pursuit on it, which, noteworthy, Pursuit on Azelf when I'm not switching out does not Oko. So if I set up and he sends in Drapion, unless he goes Knockoff does Oko me. Flamethrower has a chance to Oko him, not the highest one if he's max HP. If he has no HP investment and no special defense investment, guarantee Oko, but still. Anyways, back to the Heatran. So I think Stealth Rock's going to be important. Toxic once again for those damn bulky mons, because because they're just so bulky. Bringing in Taunt because again for the Ariados and just any other mons that I think that are basically going to be lower speed than a no speed Uxie pretty much. And then I'm bringing Flash Cannon instead of Lava Plume because Mamoswine is technically neutral to Lava Plume with Thick Fat. Also, it hits Sylveon super effectively. There's no really other than that, those were really the big ones, and I guess the Tyrantrum in case he brings that, because I see those as the main. Well, I see definitely the Mamoswine, and maybe not so much the Tyrantrum, but I don't know. I just felt like Flash Cannon was better versus his team because he's obviously not going to switch in Cobalion onto this. That would just be stupid. Cobalion has such a bad special defense stat. Anyways, so other than the whole outspeeding the no speed Uxie, the rest is just thrown into HP and special defense to be as specially bulky as possible. As I think this will prove to be a good answer to a defensive Sylveon if he brings the same one as last time. And even then, I think this Heatran can take a Specs hit relatively well just because Heatran 4 times resists Fairy. So that's the main reason I brought this. Now, last up, we have quite a heat set. I have to give a shout out to Kyle A, who coaches the Miami Dawn fans in the APA, NPA, and WBE. It was specifically this set in the WBE that really caught my attention of just straight up Power Up Punch, Last Resort. I checked the calc on all of Matt's Mons, pretty much other than, even on just physically defensive sets, honestly, other than maybe Cobalion, I think, a +1 Last Resort from this set does a guarantee of 70% to all of Matt's Pokemon. So really, this is the true late game sweeper. I know I have 2 setup mons here, but like those are to provide early to mid game pressure. If I'm being honest, Lopunny is here to be like the true late game sweeper, as it's just gonna deal a bunch of damage to Matt's team. I have no idea if this is gonna work. Unfortunately, I haven't gone through a testing period, and I most likely am not going to be able to. But I've been wanting to try this setup for a while, and I felt like with Matt's team, like I thought about it against Sean's team, but Sean's Celesteela was way too bulky for it to work. The thought crossed my mind for Mark's team, but he has a lot of things that I just needed to, like he had a Tyranitar and a Doublade, and I really needed like more consistent super effective hits on it. I really thought that this would be the next match where this would work the best, I personally think. I know it definitely, like, Idoko's a physically defensive Marowak, a Alolan Marowak, which I know isn't saying much because, I mean, it's a Marowak and it's mostly offensive, but still, like, I've wanted to try this specific set out for a really long time, so I'm bringing it against Matt, seeing if it works. Once again, had enough speed to outspeed his Mega Latios, and then Adamant Nature with attack, and then just the rest thrown into HP because it's useless anywhere else. So yeah, this is my team. I am very, very nervous for this match. But other than that, like, I don't know what else to say about my team really. If you enjoyed it, consider subscribing to the channel. And yeah, so keep your eye out on the channel for my match against Matt. By the time this goes up on YouTube, the match will be going up on the following day, so keep your eye out for that. And thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.